Hello, it's this week's The Story of a Poor Boy. I'm Mikey.
I'm Matt.
And this week, it's been a fantastic week of football for Liverpool Football Club. We're recording this straight after Liverpool have beaten Porto 4-1, 6-1 on aggregate, to progress to the semi-finals where we will play Barcelona. It's the dream draw, I guess.
Shit, Dad.
After a weekend where Liverpool continued a title charge with a 2-0 win at home to Chelsea, could not really have gone much better these last two games.
That's been pretty much perfect. Obviously, we battered Porto, barely got out of second gear. Put the slip hoodoo to rest with Chelsea. Everyone thinking that this was going to be the game that our title challenge got derailed again. Just put a lot of it to bed. Got through to the semi-finals, still top of the league. Mm-hmm. Sound.
It is. It's job done as far as Liverpool were concerned. I mean, we were 9 games away from glory. We knew what we had to do, and now we're 7 games away instead. It's fantastic. Well, what a position to be in. And you know, it's the old adage of if I'd have told you at the start of the season that with 7 games left to go, 4 in the league, 3 in the Champions League, Liverpool would still be very much in both races. They're biting my hand off. So I guess what we should probably do is do you want to talk about Porto first or Chelsea first?
Don't mind.
Go on, Porto's fresh in the head, so why not? Let's talk about Porto. We'll reference Chelsea as we go through, I guess. So the Porto game, not many people seem to be paying attention to it because the City-Tottenham game seems to have just blown the R's out of the water. We will talk about that later because, of course, that has possible ramifications for Liverpool.
Yeah, it does.
In the league and the Champions League. So Liverpool today start with Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Van Dijk and Robertson at the back. A midfield 3 of Gini Wijnaldum, Fabinho and James Milner. Front 3 of Mohamed Salah, Divock Origi and Sadio Mane, which meant obviously that we saw Bobby Firmino drop to the bench, Jordan Henderson drop to the bench and Naby Keita as well. Thoughts of the original lineup?
The changes from the last lineup kind of made sense, I think. Jordan Henderson's played a lot of quite frantic football recently,
which he's not been used to for a good couple of years, I suppose.
Firmino has always been the hardest working player, so it makes sense to give him a bit of a rest. And same with Keita as well. He's been working quite hard recently. Give him a bit of a rest. It's like we're 2-0 up. All we need to do is score 1 away here, and they have to score 4, and that's a bit too much of an ask for this Porto side. But like we said last week, they're no mugs, but they're not score 4 goals against Liverpool. Mugs.
No, and that's fair. And there aren't many teams who are, to be honest. So Liverpool start the game. In all honesty, Porto have probably the better of this entire game.
Oh, definitely.
If we're looking at it, so even looking at the stats, Porto end up having 20 shots. It's not very often that you have 20 shots.
A lot of them were quite aimless, to be fair. Not many of them were on target.
Stunk of desperation a little bit, didn't it, from Porto? To very quickly, to be fair. Liverpool, it's not very often you can say a team's had 20 shots, only scored once, and yet the other team just looked completely comfortable as well. I say completely comfortable. They were obviously
against Burnley a few years ago.
Yeah, true. There were moments in this game where you're like, maybe there's something creeping in here, but
there was a bit of panic around the defence. We couldn't really string many passes together before play broke down. The one good bit of play that we had in that first half, we scored from.
Excuse me. Fucking hell, must be late. I mean, we do score from it after what seems like an eternity of the VAR decisions. I've seen people who were already in the ground. They were on Twitter saying, made up that we've got the decision, but it is shite how long it takes, kind of thing.
We should just go to Mo.
Mo knew straight away. It was really strange, actually, because Salah's basically turned around. You can see the camera on him. The Salah turns around and just says, "It's a goal. It's a goal." Which, fair play. I saw Dave Malik tweet that he saw Salah go over to the screen, have a look, and then come back.
And start celebrating before the ref gave it.
If he has done that, fantastic. Fair play, Mo. What a fella. But yeah, I mean, he did look a mile offside, and then you watch the replay, and it's very tight.
It's a good run. It's a really good run.
It is a good run. There's no way Mo's picked him out. I'm not having it for him.
No, it's a shot.
It's a shot from Salah. His reputation precedes him on that one as well. Recently, you know, I've only what did he say after Southampton? I was only thinking of the shot at that point. There's no way that Mo Salah's picked that pass out. But Mane is there, and it wouldn't be a stretch to say that Liverpool probably didn't deserve it at that point. It was Liverpool's only shot on target.
Yeah, it was a bit against the run of play. Well, a lot against the run of play, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it just shows how clinical this Liverpool side is. Like, if we have a chance, we're going to try and take it.
It's Liverpool at their ruthless best, to be honest with you.
Porto had loads of chances, just could not finish at all. Couldn't get a barn door.
No, I completely agree. It just stunk of desperation. I mean, Liverpool last season come here and, you know, we do beat Porto 5-0, and we said last week about how you can't really compare these sides. It's a, you know, they're not going to lose 5-0 again. It says out 4-1, you know, instead. But I mean, you look at last season, Liverpool dominate the game a lot more than we actually do here. Whether that's because Porto knew what they had to do, kind of thing, or whether it's because Liverpool set up to protect what they had and then go forward from there. But this is, as you've said already, these aren't mugs. Liverpool had to do a thoroughly professional job tonight, and Liverpool did do a thoroughly professional job. Second half comes in, Roberto Firmino comes on for Divock Origi. Didn't expect him to come on at any point. Not going to mention why before I slack around. We take our goal really well, second goal. It just seems to spring out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden Alexander-Arnold slotting in Mo Salah, and Virgil van Dijk celebrates before the ball even goes in the back of the net.
I do love seeing that. It's the same when that ball to Mane, and he's got his arms up when Mane gets it. He's like, yes, it's going to be a goal. It's fine.
Yeah. There's a clip from the Inside Anfield stuff from the Newcastle game last season where he did the exact same thing when Oxlade-Chamberlain slot Salah through, and it is just great. I mean, he's going to look stupid one day, but I'm sure he probably has done at some point, to be fair, but not today. It's not. It's a great ball from Alexander-Arnold. It's a great finish from Mo Salah.
So
but it means the world to just see Liverpool just take that goal, and it really did kill the tie. Because I mean, all right, Porto still needed 4 goals at this point, and all right, 4 goals is a massive ask for any team against this Liverpool side, but it's still in the back of your mind, I guess, isn't it, that you just want that, you want a 2-goal cushion on the night, and you just want to take control of the game. And Liverpool decide to take control of the game, bring on Joe Gomez, and then concede 3 minutes later.
Immediately. And you actually, like, without looking, were like, I know this is going to be Joe Gomez's fault.
Yeah, I do owe Joe an apology for that, to be fair, because it wasn't anything personal against him. It's just I don't agree with changing a defence when it's on a clean sheet. I've never have done. It's just, I think you've kind of you build up a fluency in the game, and you build up a bit of a rhythm, and to then take that rhythm away by putting somebody else on there, I thought he was. It's the exact same argument I have when we go to 5 at the back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And when we go to 5 at the back, you then have to learn a completely new position, basically, even as a centre-half, because you're just playing 5 yards either side of where you were originally. And that's the exact kind of the issue I had with this one, in that you're bringing in a new footballer to come in, so straight away it means that Matip and Alexander-Arnold, who've probably agreed halfway through this game, right, I'm going to deal with this, you deal with this fella. Now it's Joe Gomez has to learn that instead. So I fully expected from this corner it to be run off Joe Gomez. It wasn't. It was ran off, I think, Wijnaldum or Firmino. Yeah.
See, I get your point, but I don't know. It's interesting and hard when you're trying to bring back a defender from injury, especially one as talented as Joe Gomez, and as first team as Joe Gomez is. He is our second starting centre back next to Virgil van Dijk.
It is as well because of how late it is in the season.
Yeah,
well. Everything's important.
He needs minutes. He needs to get up to 100% match fitness as soon as possible for this running. So I think while we're 2-0 up on the night and 4-0 up on aggregate, I think we can risk
definitely.
Gomez on just to give him those match minutes, get a little bit of fluency with Van Dijk, with Alisson. I know he doesn't come on as a centre back, but just give him a run out. Just show he can do it.
No, definitely.
And then hopefully bring him in for the start against Cardiff, and then see where we go from there.
No, definitely. I do think, I mean, if you are going to bring somebody on, bringing them on when the other team has to score 5 goals to go through.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fine.
It's probably the best time you can bring them on.
Yeah, definitely. The next change, 69th minute goal goes in. Great header, by the way. Missed that off completely. It's a great header. That kid's going places. Eden Militao, he's 21 years old and he's got a big career ahead of him. But then Jordan Henderson comes on again. And Jordan Henderson coming on for Andy Robertson means Milner goes back to left back and Jordan Henderson just takes control of the game.
Yeah, just absolutely bosses the midfield. He's everywhere, winning tackles, just putting lovely balls in, and puts one hell of a fucking cross in for Firmino, doesn't he?
It's an easy finish for Bobby Firmino.
Yeah. All he has to do is get his head out on it.
Yeah, exactly. And even if he doesn't, Mane's still behind him.
Yeah.
It's as basic as you want, really, from Liverpool. He also puts Mane in for a very, a chance you'd expect Mane to take when he goes round Casillas and comes off balance.
Just gave himself a little bit too much to do.
Yeah.
Even with the fact that he only seems to score when he's off balance. Even Mane was too off balance to score this one.
No, definitely. So, I mean, from there, 3-1 coasting, and then Virgil van Dijk obviously pops up with a header as well.
While the travelling cop are singing Virgil van Dijk's song, and just getting into... and they watch him score.
Yeah, bullet.
And then they literally just watched him score. It was surreal.
Yeah, he's. I think that's 5 goals for the season, 4 assists for Virgil van Dijk this season, which from centre half is not too bad at all. And important goals and important games kind of thing. Obviously, this one, he'll score more important goals than this, but it's still nice. It's still lovely for Virg to get it on the score sheet, and it's lovely for Liverpool to progress 4-1, particularly following the Barcelona-Man United result yesterday, which means that Liverpool will play against Philippe Coutinho and Luis Suarez in the semi-final.
Can't wait.
And
Can't wait to make... and Lionel Messi. I'm not looking forward to that bit. I'm looking forward to seeing him live, because that'd be cool. But obviously, I'm there for Liverpool. I'm looking forward to seeing Philippe Coutinho cry.
Yeah.
Ball his eyes out.
I think we mentioned that last year.
We'll sing Suarez's song, we'll boo Coutinho, he'll be great.
We won't sing Suarez's song. If we sing...
No. When we win, after the game, we'll sing Coutinho... no, not singing Coutinho's. We'll sing Suarez's song.
We won't.
I bet you we do.
I'll bet you whatever you like we don't.
Alright.
Semi-final. Second leg semi-final at
After
Anfield.
we beat them.
Semi-final, second leg at Anfield.
After we beat them, and Suarez will come up and clap the cop.
We've got better things to do. We have got better things to do than
we'll
we'll
still be in the stadium.
Yeah, fair enough, fine, but we will be far
I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
We'll be far too busy celebrating this Liverpool team to be concentrating on anyone who used to play for Liverpool.
I know. I'm just expecting, but I've already got this all written out in my head.
Right.
We beat them. It's quite a tight one. We win away 1-0, and then we win our game. We win the home game 2-1, and after the game, after Liverpool players have come and clapped everyone, Luis Suarez comes up. Coutinho doesn't because he knows he's going to get booed. Luis Suarez comes up to us and I
don't see it. I just don't see it. That's all. I think they'll be down the tunnel already.
Yeah, maybe.
Suarez never takes losing well. That's all.
To us.
different, I suppose, isn't it? I mean, it is an exciting tie. The football fan inside of me is really excited to actually get a chance to watch Lionel Messi play as well, because I don't believe in football tourism, so I'm not one of the people who's going to go to Barcelona and watch him play at the Nou Camp against Osasuna or someone like that. So I'm...
and then come back and complain about day trippers at Anfield.
Exactly. It's hypocritical, isn't it?
It's
it's the same principle as I had to go to Dortmund when we played Dortmund away, I had to go to Dortmund away because you don't know how often you're going to get a chance to watch Liverpool play at Dortmund. Liverpool play at Dortmund because it's a chance to go and see your team there whilst also experiencing the atmosphere at Dortmund.
Yeah.
And it's something similar with this. Obviously, I hope Messi has the worst game of his life.
Of course.
But
he's going to be in Fabinho's back pocket. And if he's not in Fabinho's, he'll be in Van Dijk's.
Yeah, exactly. And even then, I mean, Joe Gomez hopefully will be starting by then. We're talking, 20 days until the second leg? So as long as it's still a contest by then, as long as Liverpool...
Sound like a United fan there.
No, it's more... It's more...
we're still in the game. We only lost 1-0 at home.
We have to be wary of the threat that they pose, particularly when you look at how we defended today.
It wasn't good.
In the first half, we wouldn't...
I think that was more to do with... they were really quite a physical team.
Yeah.
And I think they were getting in our defence and in our midfield's faces quite a lot. Barca won't play like that at all.
No.
A lot of what we were struggling with was... Suarez is just a bastard. But I think a lot of what we were struggling with today was like the physicality of the long balls. Long balls over the top. And that's not really how Barcelona play.
Yeah.
So I think we'll be fine. They're going to push their fullbacks up. We're going to push our fullbacks up, and it's just a matter of our forwards versus their centre backs.
No, that's fair. And you look at the chances United got quite early on yesterday. If Liverpool get those chances, you would expect Liverpool to come away with at least a goal.
Yeah. And
if Liverpool come away with any away goals, and it's not Messi hasn't had a game where you're just like, oh my god, you're just the best player in the world. Then you bring them back to Anfield, and from there we know what can happen at Anfield.
Oh, of course.
But I suppose one of the best things to come out of the draw of being this way round is actually that we play the semi-final now. This with the home leg last, as well, because that's what everybody prefers, isn't it? I don't know if the managers have a preference, but as a football fan, you think back to the Chelsea semi-finals when we were kids,
and you can properly send your team off to the final that way.
Yeah, exactly. And the idea of getting to 2 finals in a row as well is, it's got to be in the back of these lads' mind.
Oh, of course.
And, winning this one would be great as well.
There'll be one hell of a coach welcome.
Yeah. And also, I mean, no disrespect at all to Ajax and to Spurs, but it's a different prospect playing this Liverpool team playing against either of them than it was last season playing against serial Champions League winners in Real Madrid. If Liverpool can get past Barcelona in this, who, they are serial winners themselves.
Yeah, they're the favourites.
Exactly, and they're the favourites for a reason. But if Liverpool can get to the final, you make Liverpool massive favourites because they've got a year's experience behind them. Tottenham are going into a game where this is the first final for a lot of their lads, a first major final for a lot of their lads. Ajax are pretty much in the same boat, so it's. I mean, if Liverpool can get past Barca, obviously getting in the final, you give them a great chance anyway. You give anyone a great chance.
The smart money would be on us.
Yep, which fantastic.
Which is lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It'd be interesting to go into a final as favourites, I guess. So, we don't typically do that in Champions League finals. When not in our lifetimes, anyway.
No.
In the 80s, fine, but not in our lifetimes.
Were we favourites in 2007?
No.
No. Okay.
No, because you have to remember what team they still had. Do you know what I mean?
I know, but we were a fucking great team, man.
We were on the verge of being a great team. But in 2007, we're talking about a team that still has, Craig Bellamy in it, and that's while he's being a bit of a prick.
It wasn't
Jermaine Pennant started in that final.
It wasn't until was it 2009 when we were the top-ranked team in Europe?
No, it's 2000. Straight after Istanbul.
Oh, okay.
Straight after Istanbul, we were the top-ranked team in Europe. Because I remember I printed it off and brought it into school. Print off the list.
Show and tell.
It was basically just that I saw it in the morning and printed it off and then looked for Everton through it. But yeah.
Imagine if any Blues listen to this. You fucking obsessed. You're obsessed with us.
I was at the time. I went to school with them all, didn't I? So we had to be at the time. It's different when you see them every day. But we won't be hearing much from them for the rest of the season until until we lose something, I guess.
I
if
think
we
my
lose
boss is
anything,
gonna escape to another country again and just leave his phone.
fair enough.
That's what he did before he fucking hired me. Like, I had to wait back an extra week to find out if I got the fucking job. Because he disappeared.
Fucking hell. So, Liverpool have progressed in the Champions League, so 6-1 on aggregate. Lovely.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, it's no 5-0, but I'll take a 6-1.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. You'd always rather have the clean sheet, but when you can't have it, you'll take the next best thing, won't you?
That is true.
There's, we've seen the benefit of VAR tonight. Tottenham have certainly seen the benefit of VAR tonight. I mean, it's going to be a very short conversation if we talk about VAR, because I know me and you are both massively in favour in it. We spoke about it in the past.
Just make sure the people who are using it are trained.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing. Referees need to be properly trained in it.
Referees need to be better in general.
I am a bit confused at how long it's taken the Mane goal to be given. Because you surely see that replay. From one replay, you look at that and you just go, yeah, he's onside, so there you go, give the goal. But it takes, I think, about a minute and a half, 2 minutes to give the goal. And by that time, fans don't know what's going on. There's announcements now, fine, but it's not the same, is it? Let's be honest. It's not the same. Oh, fucking hell. Blue Nose has just messaged me on Twitter saying that we will be about 12 points back, worse off with VAR. Lovely.
He's been keeping a tally all season. He's been updating an Excel spreadsheet. God love him.
Fantastic. I love it. So, VAR, I welcome it next season. Can't wait.
100%.
City
never win a game of football again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if at the end of the day, if Liverpool drop points for it, I'm not really asked, as long as everybody else does. As long as we get an even playing field from this, I don't really care. Because that's all that matters really at this point, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
We can get rid of bias against smaller clubs and 4 big clubs, which Liverpool have benefited from at times this season. Liverpool have been victim of in certain instances as well, where referees won't give penalties at Anfield because they're convinced of they're trying to overcorrect for the crowd factor, I guess, isn't it? And people are convinced we get penalties all the time. I promise you we don't.
It is just stupid.
Yeah, so bring it on.
Long live VAR.
Yeah, long live VAR, definitely. So let's backtrack now to Sunday. Talk a little bit about Chelsea game. Won't go into full detail about it because it's Liverpool played since. But Liverpool had to remain firmly in the hunt after the City results.
Yes, definitely. After Palace rolled over and got their tummies tickled until they were losing 2-1. Obviously, they brought it back to they were losing 2-0, brought it back to 2-1, and then continued to get their tummies tickled after that because they're fucking shite and crap and fuck Hodgson. So we were a little bit nervous going in, knowing that City had just won and that we're against Chelsea and we hadn't beat them at Anfield for something like 7 years. It was a ridiculous run. But as soon as the game started, it was quite clear who the better team was, and it was definitely us. We were just so much better than Chelsea.
I mean,
we didn't make it count initially, but you could see from just how the game was panning out that we were the better team, and we just needed to make it count at some point. And then we did. 2 goals in 2 minutes?
I mean, I don't disagree. Liverpool were a clearly better team. But Chelsea had moments in there where they were just so dangerous. And teams will come to Anfield and play a lot worse than Chelsea and get things.
Probably.
Leicester, for example, come to Anfield and don't play better than Chelsea did there. Chelsea were pretty much... if Eden Hazard takes those chances in the second half, then we're sitting here and we're talking about how Liverpool are disgraced for falling asleep. Yeah. And we've lost the title away kind of thing. But instead, we can sit here and say, because Hazard's missed those chances, Chelsea, wasteful, Chelsea haven't taken their chances, Chelsea haven't done this, done that, the other.
It wasn't even Chelsea, it's Hazard.
Yeah, it is.
Chelsea didn't do anything.
It is. One thing you can say about it, though, is that Chelsea's attacking threat in the first half comes purely from the counter-attack and purely from moments of Liverpool not being great.
Yeah.
So I'm looking specifically at the Willian chance where he breaks down a wing, cuts back inside. I think Van Dijk and Henderson nearly run into each other.
Yep.
And he should score. But he hits it slightly wide. That kind of thing happens. I mean, that originally happens because Joe Matip gets caught out by the ball over the top. He's like running in treacle. But yet Liverpool would have been victims of their own demise if we'd have let anything come from that game. From 2-0, everybody was rocking, and I don't know whether the pressure slightly got to the players, but I mean, we were sat next to each other in the stadium. What was I like? The people around us cheering every time Hazard missed a chance, and I'm absolutely seething, steam coming out my ears.
Yeah, but he's even getting those chances because we just switched off for a bit. It was really, really weird. It was just a 5-minute period after those 2 minutes for goals where we could have just thrown it all away.
Yeah. It reminded me of City last season where we go 4-1 up in the league. We go 4-1 up and it's like, what the fuck?
Now what?
Yeah. And we conceded twice, and we could quite easily have thrown that away. That's what I mean about this Chelsea game. Like, quite easily we could be sitting there saying, "Oh, it was 2-2. Fucking don't know what happens from there." But instead, what we see then is great game management from Jurgen Klopp.
After that 5 minutes, it's calmed down so much.
Yeah, it is. It's Gini Wijnaldum comes on.
Yep.
Straight away. Just notice a calmness.
It's the perfect sub as well for Keita, isn't it?
No, it is. I mean, not that Keita was doing a bad job, but it's just you don't want
Needed
Fabinho.
A bit more discipline in midfield.
He's just the one you sacrifice out of three.
Yep.
Fabinho was having a fantastic game. Nearly broke Eden Hazard's leg at least 3 times, but won the ball cleanly instead. Jordan Henderson run the show again from number 8. It's almost as if Brendan Rodgers knew what he was doing all those years. Gets an assist for the Mane goal. He plays really well, and it's not that Keita doesn't play well. It's just the obvious change.
Yeah.
And it's the obvious point in which you want to see Gini Wijnaldum come on. You also see Keita and Van Dijk both turn around to the players and just, with their hand gestures, just calm it down.
Yep.
Calm it down. And Liverpool do, and we see through a lovely 2-0 win. I suppose we should probably talk about Salah's goal.
I was going to say.
We should probably mention it at some point.
It
Suarez, isn't it?
Yeah. It's mad that Sturridge goal isn't the best goal that we've seen him score against Chelsea this season.
It is. When you think down the years now, I mean, you look at Henderson's goal away at Stamford Bridge as well, and Shelvey scored from range against them as well, and that's comfortably the best goal I've seen scored by a Liverpool player against Chelsea. Yeah. And that's Torres bending it into the far post past him, Torres taking the piss out of Benaim. Jermaine Pennant when he chested the volley down and it's it in the top corner.
Oh god, yeah.
Salah's beaten them all.
Yeah,
we scored some crackers against Chelsea, by the way.
He just hits it so clean and so hard. It gives Kepa absolutely no chance.
We were at a great angle for it from the upper main as well.
Yeah.
But it just came out of nowhere.
Again, it's nice being able to actually watch the game.
Yeah, it is interesting.
I do like it up there.
From a football fan point of view, from a Liverpool fan point of view, sorry, it's so much better sitting in the car because you're part of the atmosphere and stuff like that, and you're part of everything. And, both agree with it. But from recording the podcast, wanting to watch the game, wanting to talk about football, kind of from that kind of standpoint, you can't really beat sitting on the upper main because you can see absolutely everything.
It's fucking great.
It's infuriating as well because you do start getting pissed off with players because
for not seeing the obvious pass.
Exactly,
for not seeing obvious from down there.
You get pissed off with Trent Alexander-Arnold for not spotting that Sadio Mane 60 yards on the other side of the pitch is in oceans of space. Because you can't quite comprehend that these players who look so little when you're down there can't see that ball.
This is the start. This is how you become a main stand moaner.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. I was the main stand moaner when we were 2-0 up.
You were?
To be honest. Everybody else was cheering and fucking going mad, and I'm sitting there going, will you fucking stop singing that Chelsea song, you pricks? You fucking concentrate, you fucking assholes, all kinds. But Liverpool won the game.
We did.
So
back to the top of the league.
The best tackle in that game as well, by the way. The best moment in that game was Fabinho in the first half when Eden Hazard needed to come off for treatment for a little bit. I think I cheered that louder than I cheered Salah's goal. That
was, boss. The moment I was thinking of during the game was Fabinho again, where it's when he just brushes Willian out of the way and shoulders the ball down. It's fucking cool as fuck.
Yeah,
so cool.
I think this game shows exactly why Liverpool needed Fabinho last summer.
Yeah,
this isn't the first time that you've seen it this season, because we've noticed how good Fabinho is for most of the year, to be honest. But this is one of the first times that he's properly stood out against a top quality opponent in Eden Hazard, and that Eden Hazard gets no joy out of Fabinho all game. So he instead, and Sarri knows this, so Sarri decides he's going with a proper striker instead, and instead he goes, right, you've had no joy against him, so you can go and play against Trent Alexander-Arnold and Joel Matip instead. And then Hazard's from there, he gets chances, do you know what I mean? He should score, as we've already said. But I think Fabinho's absolutely excellent. And I'm also really concerned Liverpool keep getting linked with Callum Hudson-Odoi, who did absolutely fuck all. I forgot he was on until he came off.
But that's the thing, kind of. No one for Chelsea really stood out other than Eden Hazard, and that's probably the story of their season.
Yeah, no, I would probably agree. There's moments where you think David Luiz is probably good at times.
Willian did at times as well, but the fact that he just gets brushed aside by Fabinho is pathetic, really.
No, it is. It is, but it's strength. What happens there? Sorry, you've dropped my pen. What happens there is, I think it's about 5 minutes before Joel Matip goes up for a header with Willian, and Joel Matip jumps and Willian doesn't.
Yeah,
and they win the foul for it. And me and you both said, "How was that a foul?" He's just stood his ground. He stood his ground, and he's the player who's challenged for the ball has been penalised for it. Whereas the player who's got no intention of playing the ball is the one who's won the free kick. And I think Willian tries to do the exact same, but Fabinho reads it. And Fabinho just goes, alright, if you're not jumping, I'm not fucking jumping, you're not going to beat me. He's not going to push Fabinho off the ball, so he just stands his ground as well. Yeah, and because of that, he's Brazilian. He just does what he wants, doesn't he?
He's just boss.
Yeah, he is fantastic. He's rapidly becoming one of my favourite Liverpool players. I think it's a big shout. I do think that he is probably the best midfielder, the best holding midfielder we've had since Mascherano, because Alonso wasn't really a holding midfielder in the defensive sense. Do you know what I mean? He was the passer. He's the quarterback, wasn't he? Whereas Fabinho is, I think he is better than Mascherano. I do think he's better than Mascherano.
Wow, okay.
Because Mascherano, whilst he tackled like no one I've ever seen, he loved lashing himself in.
Fabinho.
Yeah, he had decent passing range, but when Fabinho is, he drops balls in behind the defence like it's nothing.
And he's so comfortable on the ball as well.
He's a combination of the two. I've said it already. He's the combination of Alonso and Mascherano, and obviously that's not fair on him to say that, but I'm going to say it anyway. Fuck it, why not? My podcast, I'll do what I want.
That's fair.
It's we've outgrown needing two players in that position. Liverpool don't play like that anymore. Liverpool need, but I think Jurgen Klopp realised that we needed one player like that, definitely, and it shouldn't have been Jordan Henderson, because obviously we've seen Henderson just free himself recently, and he's a goal and 4 assists now, is it, or 3 assists?
A goal and 3 assists in 3.5 games.
Yeah, fantastic.
In that number 8 role. Brilliant.
Fantastic. Well done to Jordan Henderson, I think, because he's been fantastic. And if Liverpool do go on to win the title in the Champions League, Jordan Henderson will be a massive part of that now from this new role. Well, from this new old role. So I didn't ask for man of the match for Porto. Man of the match for Chelsea first?
I think it was Henderson again. I think I remember coming out of the stadium and thinking it was Henderson again.
I can't remember who I give it to. I can't remember who
It's
I give it
probably on the WordPress.
It is definitely on the WordPress. If you want to find out, just have a look on there.
Might be Salah for the goal.
It's not. It's Bobby Firmino.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Because we haven't mentioned it there at all, but Bobby Firmino is absolutely
everywhere.
Fantastic in this game. He is the epitome of Bobby Firmino in this game. He's everything good about his game. Very little of the bad. The complacency when finishing.
He's heavily involved in the play for the first goal, for Mane's goal.
Just wins the ball back.
Playing just such a good 1-2 with Salah. Then it goes to Henderson, and he just does that lovely looped crossover for Mane's head.
Yeah.
Reminiscent of Lovren's winner against Dortmund.
I did think that I could try to be fair, but yeah. I'd give it to Bobby. Tonight against Porto, I don't even know who I'd give it to. I'm probably gonna go with Veg.
Just because he gets his goal.
That's fair. He's also in a massive physical battle all game, and I don't notice much of him doing anything wrong. Marega gets a good chance in the first half because Veg is covering for Matip, I think.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm just probably going to go for Veg.
I'm going to give it to Henderson again. Because when he came on, boss for midfield, gets an assist, fucking job done. Captain.
Fair enough. Captain's performance. So, as we've said, Man City now can't do a quadruple thanks to Spurs. Hopefully, thanks to Liverpool, they won't be able to do.
Hopefully, their season implodes and they never win a game again.
So we should probably just quickly look ahead. I know it's only been quite relatively short, 36 and a half minutes at the moment.
It's late. We're tired.
It is late. And I might have to go home and write some fucking reviews as well after that Porto game. I need to make sure I don't use all my poetic license while I'm talking in this. So Liverpool's next game is Cardiff away. Now Cardiff away, obviously, Cardiff win last night against Brighton 2-0, puts them in with a shout of staying up. It's quite interesting this game because Cardiff had to win regardless. You know what I mean? They're desperately seeking points. But obviously Brighton play City last game of the season, and I think we've played them twice, haven't we? Yeah, we have played them twice. Yeah, I can remember City's fixtures better than I can remember ours. But yeah, it is interesting. Those two are basically the teams you're looking at now who are going to be fighting to stay up.
Yeah.
One of them will go down, so they both have a say in this title race. Obviously, it means Liverpool and Man City have a say in the relegation battle. But we play at half. Do we play 4:30 this weekend? 4:00. 4:00 we play. I think Spurs City is Sunday before us.
Okay.
I am just going to check that now. But I mean, you've got to be confident going into this one, haven't we?
Of course, yeah. They're down there in the relegation places for a reason. I think if we
12:30 kickoff.
Obviously, it's no game in the league is easy, especially against a relegation candidate. But they are one of the 3 worst teams in the league.
12:30 kickoff on Saturday.
Okay,
sorry.
We should be going there and beating them. I think against big teams, they've lost 8 out of 9 at home and 8 out of 9 away or something like that. So
what's classed as a big team, sorry? Is it just top half or?
Tops, I don't know, maybe top 9 or something. But with a record like that, we should be going there and winning and expecting to win and expecting to win well. Obviously, if we don't win there, we don't deserve to win the league, to be honest.
No, and that's completely fair. I think basically Liverpool's away record, when you consider the teams we've played down the bottom of the league, obviously we've won the games, but you think back to Huddersfield earlier on in the season, we win 1-0. Brighton away, we win 1-0. Fulham away, we win 2-1. Do you know what I mean?
Start grinding results out.
Yeah, these aren't comfortable games, and I'm not expecting it to be a comfortable game because A, it's Liverpool, and B, it's a title race.
Yeah.
No game will be comfortable for the rest of the season. Tonight was probably our most comfortable game for the rest of the season.
Lovely.
I mean, you're looking at it now. Hopefully Huddersfield's a walkover because they've got nothing to play for, but I mean, even then, it just takes them to put 10 men behind the ball and trying to frustrate us, and you know, we could be in for a long evening. It'll be for that. But yeah, I just Liverpool obviously have to be careful here. You know, we're looking at a Cardiff team though who have let me just check, won 2 of their last 5. So, and then before that, I mean, their form is pretty bleak. Got beat 2-0 by Man City the other week, 2-1 by Chelsea, 3-0 by Everton, 5-1 by Cardiff, 2-0 by Wolves, 2-1 by Arsenal, 3-0 by Newcastle, 3-0 by Tottenham. Liverpool have surely got to get us to the points here, haven't they?
Definitely, yeah.
Cool. Okay, that's all we had to say really. That's to just try and drag out that Liverpool are going to beat a relegation team this weekend. Try to do a bit of filler.
Just got to see what Spurs and City do. All we can do is win our games now.
Yep, exactly. Well, that's all I've said for the last, I think, 4, 5, 6 weeks maybe. That all Liverpool can do is keep winning games. And
that's what we keep doing, thankfully.
Yep. And hopefully, if the law of averages, if football in the law and the law of averages can be applied together, so you say that there are 3 possible outcomes for a football match: win, lose, or draw. Then, you know, if we're saying, you know, the equal probability, then we're looking at a draw this weekend for Man City versus Spurs. Lovely. Fantastic. Yep, that will do Liverpool down to the fucking ground.
It's a great prediction, and I love it.
Yeah, I mean, that's all we can hope for, really. You know, we'll know more. Saturday lunchtime kick-off, it's normally a draw. You know, Spurs don't draw. Spurs don't draw.
But they have drawn one. They have drawn one, I think.
Was it Arsenal?
Spurs will draw.
Was it Arsenal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Spurs it was Arsenal.
Draw.
Listen, if Spurs fancy getting a draw this weekend, happy days. If it means
if they beat them, I'll get their chicken tattooed on me.
I mean, you've heard it there.
I mean, I won't, but you know.
I mean, I said walking out the ground that if United beat City next week, I'll wear a United shirt to the Huddersfield game. I probably won't, but there's. I mean,
it's still a bit much, isn't it?
We can, you know, we'll just have a little chat about this now, I guess. You know,
I'll draw a chicken on me.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, you can. We'll colour it in. I want that. I want a gold chicken drawn. We'll go and get some gel pens and we'll draw it on your arm.
That'd be great. What do you mean?
You're going to Malta?
Kerry, I'll have some somewhere.
You're going to Malta. Get a henna while you're over there. I bet you can get a henna tattoo while you're over there.
Chicken,
of a Spurs chicken, and there you go. You've sorted it then. Yeah, I guess we can talk about it a little bit actually, because you know we're looking at Spurs as. Is that my laptop? Fucking hell, noise out of that.
It's gonna take off.
You can hear that, can't you?
It's gonna take off.
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, sorry if it sounds like there's a fan on in the background. That's my laptop's just decided that it's going to catch fire. Yeah, City are basically probably at the halfway point now of what we consider their hardest run of games this season. So now we're looking at a week where you know they've already beaten Crystal Palace away. They've beaten Spurs, but they've gone out of the Champions League. So now we're looking at Spurs at home again, United away, and Leicester. Is it Leicester?
Burnley.
No, Burnley away. Yeah. I mean, putting aside, you know, obviously we want them to drop points here, and we're willing them to drop points. Do you realistically see City dropping more than 1 point, more than 2 points here? Sorry, because I think basically we're looking at Spurs as the one, aren't we?
Yeah.
Really.
It depends on how they take that loss in the Champions League. It could go one of two ways. Mm-hmm. Like, it could galvanise them to win every game left in anger, and then win the league, or they could completely fall apart. And I don't know. I don't think we'll know until we actually see them play again, just to see if they look up for it. Mm-hmm. If they look like they're still motivated, because it's got to be such a heavy blow to go out in the way that they did. What?
Sorry, Ronald Koeman's just tweeted saying congratulations to Van Dijk and Wijnaldum.
Ronnie the Red.
Yes, Ronnie the Red. Sorry, mate. Yes, what were you saying, sorry, about how they take the result? I understand what you mean.
You just got to see if they're still motivated.
Yeah.
I assume they will be, but I do think they're going to drop points in this 3-game run. I really, really do.
I can't tell if I think they will or I'm just willing them to really
maybe,
badly.
But we've seen that they're beatable. They've lost the game against Spurs. They can lose another. They can lose against United. They can lose against Burnley.
While we're on the subject then of them, dropping points against Spurs, will you concede that I'm right? That Tottenham are a better team when Harry Kane doesn't play for them.
Sure.
Yeah, fine.
Although
Heung-min Son scored 3 goals in 2 games against them.
Alright, fine.
Because he's a very good footballer.
Yeah.
And he's, he has mobility as well.
Yeah, he's not a fridge.
No, exactly. Although a fridge did score the 3rd goal and ultimately the crucial goal. I think that
this one's even more fridgy.
Fucking hell. I think that there's a point where what City have tried to do tonight, they have basically just tried to lash everything at Tottenham, and Tottenham will have whistled it to a point. Obviously, there's a point where City are gone through, and they have still scored 4 goals.
Yeah.
But that takes a lot of energy out of you.
It does.
That effort, that amount of effort going into that game. And I also think that Guardiola must have one eye on this weekend, because Jesus doesn't come on, Mahrez doesn't come on, Sané only comes on in the 84th minute. We're not talking about City going hell for leather here, do you know what I mean? They literally just went, okay, the players on this pitch are good enough to do this. Straight away, the second that they get to the scoreline that will take them through, David Silva comes off and Fernandinho comes on, and it's about seeing the game through. And obviously they don't end up doing that, but it does mean that I think Guardiola, being intelligent, being the man he is, and the knowledgeable football expert that he is, I think he has just turned around and went, listen, we can't forget about this league, because if we lash everything into this, we've still got to come up against a very difficult Ajax team, and then at the final it'll either be Liverpool or Barcelona, and they can't risk losing the league, which they would have done if they'd have done everything. But I do agree that it's the mental toll on those players as well as the physical toll, because as much as he's rested certain players, he's still going to want Raheem Sterling starting this weekend, and Aguero, and also I think Spurs' attacking players might not have had to put in as much effort as normal.
Maybe.
Do you know what I mean? That's me being very optimistic. They're probably still running and pressing and putting pressure on. You never know. You never know. Well, I say never. We will know. We will know on Saturday, because on Saturday Tottenham could hand Liverpool a massive, massive favour. It might kill some of them. We'd really appreciate it.
God, please.
Yeah, I mean, I could really do with sleeping at night, really, without waking up in a cold sweat thinking, what if we don't fucking do it? No, I mean, as I've said at length, this is not about this season. This season is just merely the second phase of this team.
It's not the last chance, it's the first chance.
Exactly. This is the first chance for Liverpool to win this league. And if Liverpool don't win in this league this season, if Liverpool get 97 fucking points and don't win this league this season, if it means that John Stones' clearance off the line is the only thing that stops Liverpool from winning the league, being invincible and being Centurions, then it's one of those things.
You need to stop bringing that up.
No, I can't.
You need to stop bringing that up. It got brought up at work as well, and I told the guy to fuck off.
I can't. I'm too salty about it. It hurts me. It
hurts me.
It hurts me because I
don't like being told this on a repeated basis.
I think Liverpool doing that in such a special way and winning their first title in such a special way would not have been us at all. It would not have been us at all. Liverpool need to stumble to this title.
Not stumble, like crawl legless
exactly.
over the line.
Exactly. Liverpool literally need to drag themselves back through. Liverpool were never going to...
Liverpool.
Yeah, exactly. Liverpool were never going to have this sewn up easily. We knew that. But this is not about this season. This is not about seeing how many points Liverpool get this year, it's going to be lovely if we win it. It's going to be heartbreaking if we don't. But at the end of the day, come next May, Liverpool will still be in a title race, and that's the most important thing. Is next May and the May after and the May after. Liverpool need to be in a position to keep challenging, because at the end of the day, we've seen title races come and go. As Liverpool have been involved in title races all of our lives, but they've never won one in our lifetimes, and that's because they drop off the year after. And Liverpool won't let that happen this time round. That's been great. It's been a fucking long night. It's going to be an even longer one now, but I'm going to get some match ratings done, because I've done it for I think I've done them for a lot of games this season. I don't think we've been beaten while I've been doing them. We've drawn games, but I don't think we've been beaten. So I'm going to have to go home and do that. That's lovely. Thank you very much for listening. If you're still with us at this point, if you could follow us on Twitter, and all of the links to our other social media is there. Like us on Facebook, follow us, Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, the works. All of that. WordPress as well. A lot of our content now goes through WordPress before it goes through Podbean, so you might see the podcast come up twice. I prefer the WordPress one, to be honest with you, because it gives a little blurb and it saves us a bit of time, to be honest. But yes, thank you very much for listening. Up the Reds, and hopefully by the time that by the time we next record, hopefully City will have dropped points, and this title race will feel a little bit closer, and Liverpool can... Well, we won't even look at the Barcelona game for another 2 weeks, I don't think. Up the Reds.
Cheers.